Hey guys, it's been a long day at work. I work 2 jobs, so it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night now, and coming home and dealing with the lovely washer machine that decided to have some sort of issue with it. This is an LG. It's a 2-in-1, so it's a washer and a dryer. But basically, on the spin cycle, when it empties out the water, it's making a horrid noise. I'll let you hear it. It was also throwing out a code, OE. You can hear the pump does not sound right. Hopefully that translates in the video. It's just trying and it's not pumping very well. Don't want to ruin it any more than it probably already is. So there could be something stuck in there, but we have a replacement pump because they're cheap, easy enough to replace. I honestly think that sound is more an issue with the pump, not something stuck in it. But there are a couple of things you can do. First thing we want to do is turn off the unit and unplug it. Safety first, and then we will go ahead and there is a little access panel here. You can just pull it down. Sometimes things can be stuck in here. You can also drain the water using this tube. Sometimes if you're in the basement and don't care, you can just unscrew this and it will all come flying out at you. But I do have a little bucket that I'm going to empty the water into. And if for some reason you didn't have the raised stand like we have, you could just use a shallow dish pan. Let's see, doesn't look like terribly much is coming out. Lower it a little bit. There we go. That door just snaps right back on. So this is going to empty out, and then we will take out that little screw thing and check in there to see if anything is stuck. And then we will disassemble the front panel and get to the pump. See you in a minute. Alright, so this is just about empty, so we'll just plug it back up. Get this out of the way. And then this is the little, kind of like a, what do you want to call it? Like a strainer, in case any big objects got stuck in there. But usually I don't find much in there. Sometimes I'll find a little lint or penny or something. There's nothing in there, so that's obviously not the issue. So now we'll go ahead and take the panel off so we can access the pump. Alright, so now we're going to remove this bottom panel. There's just a couple of screws in here, so we'll take those out, and then we should be able to just pop the panel off. And actually, I think I'll just unscrew that other thing too, just to get it out of the way. The little filter thing. And I think we want to be careful when we pull this off too, because you got your hose on there. There we go. So you can access the pump right here. All right, so we will get in there now and take care of that. I'll be right back. All right, so now we can remove the hose gently. Should be able to, there we go. Get this out of the way. And then we're going to remove these 3 screws here. Basically hold the housing for the pump. So it just gives you a little bit more wiggle room, loosens it up. Alright, so now that we got those 3 screws out, you can see the housing is nice and loose. So we're going to actually take some screws out of the back of this from the side. It's kind of difficult to get to. But just to show you on the new pump, you can see the places where the 3 screws would be. So you're looking on the side, there's one there, there's one underneath, and then pull it up and there's one in there. So it'll be a little tricky to do. We could probably take off this whole paneling, but that's going to be a major pain in the butt and probably add about another half hour to the project. So We're going to try it with just this panel on the bottom removed. Access is a little bit more difficult, but it is reachable, so. Okay, we have one screw left in there. That's the bottom one. Now that should be able to come off. I should probably unplug these little pluggies. So I'm pulling the plugs out. Get that out of the way. We should be able to remove the housing. There we go. That's the old pump. So, I mean, aside from destroying it and pulling it apart, I'm probably not going to really see that there's a problem with it, but clearly there is. And we will install the new one. And then basically button it all back up in reverse. All right. Going to take this off and put it on the new one. It should just... I don't know. All right, let me figure out how this comes off before I break it. Ooh, injury, battle wounds. All right, let's take a minute just to look this over. It looks like it's just gonna slide out. There we go. I'm just trying to be gentle. I don't want to bust it. And have an injury over here. All right, I'm gonna go clean my finger up because I'm like bleeding all over the place and it's kind of gross. I'll be right back. All right. Well, I don't know where that injury is from, but all right. There's like a little lip it was stuck on, so you just kind of had to push it down to get it out. There we go. Hopefully it's easier to get on than off. But anyway, you can see there's definitely a difference in turning this. You can feel it. Probably can't really see it, but there is a difference, so something's going on with it. All right, we'll attempt to put this one on and then put back in. So again, you're gonna have to kind of fidget with it. Much easier to go back on than taking it off. All right, and now we'll just mount this back in there and put the screws back in. And we are supposed to put some Vaseline on this unit. So it's around the gasket. This is embarrassing. Sorry guys, I don't mean to be having this like battle wound everywhere. But yeah, we're just gonna put some Vaseline around the gasket, like you can see on here. So we'll just put it around the new one. Okay. Just kind of gives it a nice seal. There we go, should be good enough. All right, we're gonna install this now. All right, so we're just gonna place the pump back in the unit here. So it goes the same way it came out, but it's gonna look like this going in. And basically you'll kind of feel when it kind of seats on there properly. You don't wanna be like twisting it around or anything. And it should just kind of line right up. Of course, it's taking me a minute. There we go. So you can feel it kind of stuck on. We'll put the screws in and button it back up. Okay, so the pump is now put back on there and screwed in. And we just have to reattach the wires. I should have mentioned earlier, you should pay attention when you took them off, which way they went. But the black wire is on the top and the brown is on the bottom. So we're just gonna go ahead and plug them in. And also, I don't know if you can see in here, there is a little spot behind here where the wire needs to slide and kind of sit in between this thing. Just kind of holds it in place. All right. Black on the top and brown on the bottom. And as you'll notice, my finger is not bleeding all over the place anymore. I think I grazed it on the sheet metal. All right. Now we're gonna put those little screws back on here. 3 little screws. And this should be kind of lined up. All right. One. Might have to just move it around if you don't feel it biting, but so those are all nice and snug. Also, I wanted to mention earlier when I was originally emptying the water out of the unit, I was probably pulling on this too hard, so it was causing a kink because it was kind of slow. If you pushed it in a little bit further, the water came out freely. I'm just going to put this little filter back in, and we're going to just test this real quick. Make sure everything is working. And also in my previous videos on this unit, I showed you how to clean out the lint. That is also something you might want to check, but clearly the noise was coming from the pump. All right, we're just going to test it real quick. All right, so we're going to test the unit, plug it back in. Turn it on. Probably just fill it with some water real quick. I know, that's the boring part. The other thing you can do is look under here and check and make sure there's no leaks. There was some water in the basin earlier just because of when we were emptying it, so it might look a little wet on the bottom, but the unit isn't leaking. All right, so now we can put this on the spin and drain. And it sounds normal, and the water is coming out nice and forceful. We weren't getting that before. Awesome. It's fixed. Yay! Thanks for watching.